Hey, fantastic ALC members. It is Hudson Warren here with MAPS Coaching, and I really appreciate you taking a little bit of time to watch and or listen to this video. It was important to me that I get to you as quickly as possible since I am blessed to be the bold coach who's coming to your area in January. And I also know that it's a crazy time of year. You've already had your ALC meetings for the year, and I figured this was easiest that you could watch something on your own terms. So a little bit about me, just so you know who I am. First and foremost, I'm an agent. I am still an active, licensed real estate agent. I run a small expansion team called the HomeWise team. I'm in Tampa. We cover basically everything from Tampa Bay, Florida, all the way south through Naples, Florida. So we cover a fairly decent sized area. And we last year closed out the year at about 150 transactions, about 1.4 million in GCI. This year, we're trending just a hair under that. Shocker, right? So I'm doing what you're doing still. I'm navigating this market that's interesting still. So I'm in it with you, and I think it's important that you know that. I also work with MAPS. I am a coach. I focus my time on the Bold program because I love being in front of people and interacting more than I love being on a screen like this. So that's what I do. I own a title company. I'm a real estate investor in multiple states. I'm married. I have 6 children. I'm a former team leader. I live a really big, wild, crazy, beautiful life. And my number one thing, the thing that I am most passionate about, is coaching and helping agents. I like to take people and help them see strengths within themselves they've never noticed before, to hit goals they never believed they could hit, to stretch beyond their ceilings, to live beyond their wildest dreams. My purpose in life is to show people that you can have it all and you can do it all. And all of that can happen without sacrificing a quality of life. Like, nobody needs to work 87 hours a week. We can fit things into the time we give them, and we can live a life that is truly by design. Now, my goal, I'm going to tell you right now, my goal is for you to enroll in this Bold. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. I want to pose something to you right now. I've talked to your leadership. I know that the market in your area is apparently no different than it is in mine and all of the last few Bolds that I've done, in that it's a little funky, right? And it's a strange market. I've been in the business since 2006, so I remember the last huge market shakeup. And this one is so much different, right? It's so much different. The prices aren't falling off a cliff. People aren't foreclosing left and right. The market still feels good, except it's not good because the numbers aren't great. And the short version is that, look, we have way less transactions, AKA opportunities to get paid, and way more real estate agents attempting to get those transactions than ever. Add into that the crazy interest rates. We're heading into what's going to be a very contentious election year, right? Like, it's a really interesting time. And here's what I feel about the current market, right? We are in a market where the market itself is not doing the heavy lifting for us, right? If you go back to 2021, even though I'm sure you were working hard, don't take this as an insult, the money was probably coming a little easier, right? Like, the opportunities were everywhere. And so while we still had to show up as our best selves, it was a little bit easier to get what we wanted. Now we are in a completely performance driven market. Like, it is up to us. And what is performance, right? Performance, to me, the simplest equation for performance, aka how we succeed in a market where it's not doing the heavy lifting for us, is its potential minus interference. So performance equals potential minus interference. And interference comes in all ways, shapes, or forms. Now, your level of performance is also driven by a relationship that all of us have. And it's the relationship with possibility. So as you're listening to this, I want you to ask yourself, I want you to think about it. No right, no wrong, just clarity. What is my relationship with possibility right now? Now, I don't know you all individually. I look forward to learning. And I know that most people right now in our industry are looking at a down market. We're looking at down income. We're looking at down everything. Everything is down. And so it would be really easy to fall into this trap of maybe not having the best relationship with possibility, which is totally understandable. And yet, if that's what's going to drive how we show up and how we perform, there might be some work to do in there, right? When we have a goal that we desire to hit, like here's what I know. Some of you probably are closing out the year and you're hitting your goals. Maybe some of you are having your best year ever. I know that the majority of agents, including top agents like yourselves, are not having their best year ever. A lot of agents are not hitting their goals. And what it's really easy to do is blame it on the market, right? And yet I know, and I bet you know, too many agents who are having banner years, best year ever, maybe a new agent that started crazy strong right out of the gate. So we know the opportunity is out there. And if we can't control the market, I can't, and I doubt that you can either, even though I bet you're super smart, you look smart, right? We've got to make sure that we identify the real problems that we have control over, the real challenges that we have control over. Like, what are the real things that are getting in the way of us hitting our goals? Because the market, what are we going to do about it? We have nothing we can do about it. And when we can figure out what that is, like what is it that's really stopping us? What things in my control are stopping me from having the business and the income and the life that I truly desire to live, regardless of market? Well, when we can figure out the actual clarity of a problem, like what is blocking us, well, the solution is 80% there. That clarity alone will tell us what we need to do, and then it's just putting in a little bit of perspiration. I'm going to show you something that I think sums all of this up, and you're going to see how vastly deep my art skills are. But look at this, right? Look at this, all right? Now, I'm going to hold it for a second, then I'll explain it. Most of us live life like this, right? So you've got this little thing here, right? You've got this little section of this circle, pie, cake, whatever your favorite round food is. And it's the things that you know, right? All of you, I'm certain, know how to use the multiple listing service. You know how to go on a listing appointment. You know how to open a lockbox. Like there's all these things in your business and in your personal world that you know them. You know them. You use them all the time. It's great, right? Then you got this other real small section here. The things that you don't know. The things that you don't know. Now, let's give you an example. I would imagine that at least one of you watching this video has never closed a short sale transaction before. Now, I can almost guarantee that you didn't just hear the words short sale for the first time. Like, you know what a short sale is in relation to real estate. You've just never closed one before. So while you might not know exactly what to do with a short sale, you know they exist. So that's a thing that you know that you don't know. That's a blind spot that isn't blind. And then you've got this big old section here. These are your blind spots. These are the things you don't know. You don't know. And we all have them. Y'all are smart. You're talented. And yet you still have them. These are our blind spots. These are the things that stop us from getting these beautifully desirable things that we want out of life. And I want to share a quote with you that talks about blind spots or the unconscious. And it comes from one of my cohorts at MAPS, Jordan Freed, brilliant, brilliant one-on-one coach. And he said this once at a training and it stuck out to me. So I want to share it with you and I'll read it twice in case you have any desire to write it down. Until you make the unconscious conscious, otherwise uncover those blind spots, right? Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. I share all of that. I always like to challenge the way people think. I think a lot of us, myself very much included, unless we're paying attention, we tend to function on autopilot, which leads to a lot of assuming, which leads to a really limited life. And even though many of you are living big lives, right? If you're on the ALC, especially at a great market center like yours, then I know that you're doing pretty well. And yet I also know that you're probably not done growing. There is probably more that you're looking for in your business, in your life, in your wealth, in your health, whatever it is. And it's because of all this that I'm going to ask you to come to bowl. Now, I don't know what your experience is with Bold. Again, I'm talking to multiple people without the benefit of hearing responses. Here's what I know. If you have experience with Bold, great. If you don't, great. I'm going to tell you what Bold is. Bold is opportunity for you to uncover your blind spots. And I promise you have them. And I say that with love, not judgment. We've all got them. And it's your opportunity to work on them. It's your opportunity to take a time of year that in many markets are slower and make sure that you maximize your income. Make sure that you start the year off strong rather than spend the whole year chasing a goal. Like, let's just get on track from the start. And in fact, again, if you specifically have experience with Bold, I want you to hear this with open ears. Bold was created for you. When Bold was written originally back in 2009, now it's gone through many iterations since then. It's been rewritten a number of times. When it was written back in 2009, it was the result of Gary Keller going to Diana Kokoska when 90% of our agents were failing and saying, we got to save our producers. Because the average agent, the newer agent, the mid-level agent, they don't necessarily have lifestyles tied to their real estate income. Like, they're still in a position where they're kind of just getting by. Whereas a top producer like you, if the market continues to stay fascinating with a capital F, and if our business starts to decline or continues to decline, well, that changes everything. That's the livelihood of ourselves and our family. That's a way of life that starts to change. And so it was written for top producers like you to get you out of a funky market and into production regardless of market. So Bold was created for you, and it's an opportunity to uncover the blind spots that all of us, because we're human, carry. Now, there is a second reason that I'm going to ask for you to join us. It's because of your influence. Now, first of all, something I want to tell you, and I really, really mean it. So if you're listening only, make sure you look and see my face so you'll trust me a little bit more. Y'all, I'm so grateful that you're on the ALC. I've been with this company since 2006. It's a long time. And I truly, back then, we were still a little bit of Keller who, depending on where you were. And we were like pioneering everything. We were the first with everything in the real estate industry. We were the best with everything in the real estate industry. And we became number one by doing that. And because we were accelerating so quickly, we forced our competition to step up. We forced new companies to come up and step up. And when I look at the industry today, if I take my Kool-Aid sunglasses off, I know that there's companies out there today that really can match us in a lot of areas. And where they can't is the culture. And you are the reason. What makes our company different is the ALC at our core. It's what makes us different. So thank you for serving. And you have more influence than I can almost guarantee without knowing you at all than you realize. Like, agents are watching you and they don't always tell you, so you don't always realize the influence that you have. And here's the reality of this market, right? I've talked to your leadership. Numbers are down across the board in your office. There are people who are going to end up out of the business that shouldn't. There are people who aren't going to be able to pay for their home and their car, for their childcare. And when they see that you sign up for this course, when you put yourself in the Bold environment, they're more likely to do that too and fix their trajectory. Excuse me. So here's my cry to you. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. Apologize for that. Please reach out to me. I'm just like you. I want to talk to you. I'm easily accessible. My contact information is in this email. Reach out, email, call, text. I'm happy to work with you, to coach with you, to talk to your team, to talk to you. And at the end of the day, I'm asking you to choose growth and join us for Bold. I can't wait to meet you in person.